Hello, fans, and welcome to This Day in Baseball, where we're going to bring you a full radio broadcast of today's game. And before we do that, I just want to thank Classic Baseball Radio, and there's a link in the notes where you can check out their full channel. They have many great radio broadcasts. And while you're listening to today's game, if you want to check out much more about the game and the players, look on the links below, and you're going to see links to player pages, the date the game happened, the year it happened, and the play-by-play. Enjoy the game, and check out the links while you're watching the game. And please don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that every time new content comes out, you're going to get that firsthand. And thank you again for checking out This Day in Baseball, and enjoy the game.
Don Buford is the leadoff man. And now with pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to bring you the first half of Game 3 of the 1971 World Series, here is Jim Simpson.
Thanks, Bill O'Donnell. Buford, a switch hitter, will bat left-handed, of course, against the right-hander Steve Blass, who's had two poor outings in the National League Championship playoffs. Starting twice against the Giants, failing to finish neither time. Throws, and Buford fouls the first one off to the left, strike one. In 7 innings against the Giants, these are the last 2 outings of Blass. 10 runs, 9 of those earned, 14 base hits. Gave up 4 home runs. Now trying to get the Pirates on the board. Orioles lead 2-0. Third game, first one at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. Blass, the right-hander, ready, throws a fastball out to left field. Stargell takes a couple of steps to his left, and that's the first out of the first inning. Merv Retman, the batter. 333 during the series, 318 during the regular season, third behind Tony Oliva of the Twins and Bobby Mercer of New York. And Retman's 3-run home run in the first ball game was the big blast for the Orioles and their come-from-behind win over Doc Ellis. Blass ready to throw on a sunlit day, throws too low, inside, ball 1 to Retman. Boog Powell, hitless in the series, is on deck. Blass has the sign from Sanguillén, back again, and misses outside and low this time. 2 balls, no strikes to Retman. Ground ball. Alley, playing at shortstop today, has a little trouble with it, but up in plenty of time to throw out Retman. Jackie Hernandez not at shortstop today, and Rich Hebner, according to Danny Murtaugh, has a sore foot. To be quite frank about it, according to Rich Hebner, the left-handed hitting third baseman, he feels he should be playing today, and nobody likes to be platooned. Here is Boog Powell hitting 125. I think I said he was hitless. He has scored no runs, no RBIs, but does have a base hit. 2 out. None on, top of the first inning. Powell, the big left-handed batter. Trouble with that bad right hand. Swings on the first pitch, chance for Cash. Cash at second base, throws on to Robertson, and Blass has a 1-2-3 inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. At the end of the middle of the first, it's Baltimore nothing with Pittsburgh coming to bat.
Oh, Andy, you look so nice. Is that a new sweater?
Yes, just got it today, Dolly.
Very.
Well, you've seen Mike Cuellar for years now, and there's a story around that if you get to Mike early, you may get him. If you don't, he's tough.
Well, one of the reasons for that, Jim, is that in the first 2 or 3 innings, Cuellar will do a little bit of experimenting with his wide assortment of pitches. And the wide assortment is the hard screwball, the soft screwball, the hard curve, the off-speed curve, and naturally the fastball. And he experiments in the first couple innings to find out just how much of that equipment he has good early in the ball game. There are times when the equipment is not good early in the ball game, and that's when he is hit hard early in the game. All right, Jim.
Dave Cash, 1 for 5. That hit came in the first game, and again against a left-hander. And of course, Cuellar is a left-hander. As a matter of fact, Cash had 4 line drives in that game, 1 for a base hit. Line drive, fair ball inside third base. Cash with a lot of speed around his first, on his way to second. Buford in the corner, and Cash steams in. First ball hitting with a double. Cash loves those left-handers. As we said, 1 for 4 against McNally, but hit all 4 pitches very hard. And this one was just inside the bag at third. The fabulous Brooks Robinson had no chance to go to his right to get it. Al Oliver, the left-handed hitting center fielder, hitting at 167. The batter, left-hander, as we said, against the left-handed Cuellar. But Oliver and Hebner not in the lineup did do well against left-handers all year long. They are ready. Attempt to bunt. Strike one. Robinson in on the artificial turf at third base. Powell playing back against the left-handed swinger. No score last to the first. Third inning of the World Series. Cuellar pitching from the stretch. Looks back. Throws. Off-speed pitch. It's too low. 1 ball, 1 strike to Oliver. With Roberto Clemente hitting .444 in the series. On deck. Cash has picked up his second World Series hit. Nobody else aside from Clemente has more than one, and the Pirate fans come alive. Their team is down 2-0. Cuellar ready, off speed again. This time he's got Oliver out in front of it swinging, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. You'll recall McNally in the first 3 innings on Saturday. We were rained out on Sunday. And Palmer in the first 3 innings yesterday had a tough time against the Pirates. Well, Cuellar starts out with a leadoff double given up to Dave Cash. 1 ball, 2 strikes, back, off-speed pitch. Powell gloves it, backhands it at first base, throws to Cuellar, coming over, drops the ball. Ball is picked up. Cash cannot advance from third base. Ball was cleanly backhanded. Cuellar a little slow in getting over to cover. Ball was dropped by Cuellar, and the runners are at the corners. And thus far, we have not had a ruling whether that is an error on the throw or on Cuellar or a base hit.
Jim, Cuellar didn't hook off that mound and get to the bag as quickly as I think as perhaps Powell had expected or Cuellar himself would have liked. And by the time Cuellar hit the bag, he hit the bag kind of lazy-footedly and had trouble both getting to the bag and making the reception of Powell's throw.
Here is Roberto Clemente stepping in. Cuellar warming up now and taking a few warm-ups after that dash to first base. Clemente, .444, 4 for 9. He has hit in 9 consecutive World Series games, every one in which the fabulous Roberto's participated, in 1960 and again in 1971. Couple of doubles. Down in Baltimore. Comes up with runners at the corners, first and third. None out. No score. Last of the first inning. Cuellar trying to get out of trouble. The ball is fouled off to the right by Clemente. Our official scores: Charlie Feeney of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, Bill Jackman out of the Baltimore Evening Sun Department, and Bob Stevens of the San Francisco Chronicle, who is the chairman of the Baseball Writers Association of America. 1 strike to count to Clemente. Pull in, play him to right. He fouls another one off to right. And I'm sure you know by now, if you've been following the World Series on radio or television, or following the National League over the years, that Clemente is probably one of the best 2-strike hitters in baseball. Frequently, he will take a couple of strikes, just looking, and then you got to battle him. Right-hander Clemente waits, fouls another one off to the right, and again it makes the seats. Cuellar's thrown in 3 pitches, and Clemente's fouled all 3 off to the right. And waiting on deck, Wilbur Darnell Stargell, Major League's leading home run hitter. The Pirates are back home, their fans are here, and the Pirates hope that things will be different in the 1971 World Series. 2 strikes to count to Clemente. Low ball. Down to Johnson, goes to Belanger, back to first base, safe at first base. The run scores 1-0. Pittsburgh. Clemente gets the RBI. He is safe at first base. 1 out, and here is Stargell.
Jim, there's a prime example of why they consider Clemente the good all-around ball player. 37-year-old body and maybe with speed of a 27-year-old man, as he prevented the double play.
Stargell, 1 hit, got that yesterday. Takes a pitch on the outside corner, breaking pitch. It's ball 1, just off the corner. Cash led off with a double on the first pitch. Powell's throw to Cuellar was dropped for an error to allow Oliver to reach first base. Clemente's ground ball scores Cash. And there's ball 2 to Stargell. Bob Robertson on deck. Error on Powell for the throw. to Cuellar. They play Stargell, of course, around to the right and very deep. Pitch is low. It's 3-0 to Stargell. And Bill and I were talking about the fact if you are to get to Cuellar, get to him early. Now, of course, not all of this is of Cuellar's doing. The double is, but not the error. And the forced play scored the run. High, and on 4 pitches, Stargell draws the walk. Clemente walks down to second base. Weaver has come out very quickly to talk to Mike Cuellar. Weaver made the statement last night after the game, despite the fact that the Orioles are 2 games up on the Pirates, that tomorrow's game, meaning today's 3rd game, is the most important game of the year as far as he's concerned. Forget the first 2. You got to win 4. Dave Leonard has come out and started to warm up. Right-hander for the Orioles. In the last of the first inning, Baltimore went down 1-2-3 in the first inning, but that's nothing new for the Birds. They've done it in all 3 games thus far. Pittsburgh, now with 1 out, Clemente at second, Stargell at first, Robertson the batter, 0 for 6 in the series, has struck out 3 times and has 3 walks. Cuellar ready, drive, foul, off to the right, upstairs. Robertson, the first time up in the National League Championships after coming home from San Francisco, drilled a long home run. About 415 feet away to dead center field. That was just after having hit 3 home runs in the Sunday championship game in San Francisco. Strike 1 to count to Robertson. Cuellar back, it is too low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now Robertson, of course, is a right-handed hitter. Oriole outfield pulls around to left. One pitch, change up, and it's up high. 2 balls, 1 strike. Ellie Hendricks, the catcher, walks out and fires the ball back to Cuellar, saying something, and Hendricks looks into the Baltimore dugout. Left-hander ready. Looks and throws a fastball. It's fouled back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Infield looking for the double play. Robertson does not run well, been bothered with bad knees, and so is Stargell over at first base. 2-2 drive. Brooks Robinson has it, runs, throws back to Johnson, an easy double play. Clemente cut off at second base, and Cuellar and the Orioles are out of it as it's 1 run, and that run is unearned. Make that earned run, we now understand. 1 run. It is earned. On 1 base hit, there were no 1 error. Well, let's go again. 1 run, it is earned. 1 base hit, there was 1 error, and 1 man left. At the end of 1, the fact remains the Pirates got the 1, and they lead the Orioles 1-0.
If I... Very good.
Thank you.
Bill O'Donnell and Jim Simpson with you at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh. We have finished the first inning of Game 3. The Pirates 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. The Orioles no runs, no hits, and 1 errors. A 1-0 Pirate lead to the top of the second, and Jim.
Steve Blass throws inside and low to Frank Robinson, the leadoff batter, who is hitting .625. 5 hits and 8 attempts. 1 home run, 1 RBI. He has scored 3 times. Blass, the right-hander, working with a 1-run lead, throws a hard slider that misses. It's 2 balls, no strikes. In the last 5 series games in which Robinson has played, he's hit over 500, 524. Already some paper has begun to flutter around Three River Stadium. They love to have paper when the Pirates do something good. You should have seen it here when they clinched the playoff series to go on to play in the World Series against Baltimore. Picking up newspaper, streamers everywhere. Out of the screen by Frank Robinson. It's 2 balls, 1 strike. Robinson, right-handed batter. Blass ready to throw. Fastball, and blew it right by Robinson, who was swinging. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Orioles went down 1-2-3 in the top of the first inning. Blass now doing a little gardening on the mound, walking out in front. Play Frank Robinson around to the left and rather deep. 2-2 the count, and he strikes out on a high fastball. Swinging. First strikeout for Blass, who set a record for strikeouts in the first game of the National League Championships with 9 in 5 innings pitched. Here is Ellie Hendricks, hitting better than 400, 429. Bill O'Donnell told you that since the Pirates have been throwing a steady diet of right-handers against the Orioles, Andy Etchebarren hasn't had his chance. It's been left-handed hitting Ellie Hendricks all the way. Blass ready to throw, changes, takes something off the pitch, and it drops over strike one. Only Bob Veal, who pitched to a couple of batters yesterday, he is the only left-hander to face the Orioles. Inside, low, 1 ball, 1 strike to Hendricks. Down around Ellie's ankles. Not quite a full shift. Alley has pulled over almost in back of second base for the pull hitter Hendricks. Oliver's way around in right center. Again a changeup outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Pirates lead it 1-0. We're in the top of the second inning. Third game of the World Series. Orioles lead in games 2-0. Blass, a quick worker, back and throws a curveball that drops over 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hendricks just stared it right into the glove of Sanguillén. John Rice said it's strike 2. Now Hendricks backs out. Hendricks has fine power. Only 9 home runs all year, but at one time he was the Mexican League home run hitting champion. Does have good power. There's another curve, misses outside, although this time Blass didn't think it missed. 3-2, first full count of the ball game. Blass throws a fastball in around the ankles, and Hendricks fouls it off. Low inside fastball. Still 3 balls, 2 strikes. Looking around Three Rivers Stadium, there are some vacant seats upstairs out in the outfield. Maybe they're still trying to get in. Fastball is low, and Hendricks draws the walk. And the Orioles have their first base runner, and here comes Brooks Robinson hitting .571. Robinson had that great play against Sanguillén yesterday. Also tied a World Series record by, in appearing 5 times at bat, reaching base 5 times. 3 base hits and a couple of walks. Grabbed a line drive, turned it into a double play to end the Pirates' first, in which they scored a run here at Three Rivers Stadium. Out of the stretch, Blass throws, and it's up high. Inside to Robbie. And it's 1-0. Brooks had a fabulous series 1 year ago and is having a great series this year. Back with the fastball, it misses, 2-0. But in the championship series against the Giants, the Pirates only hit 6 balls to the third baseman. That was in a total of 4 games. Primarily a right field hitting ball club, and the chances for Brooks are few and far between, although he had that great play yesterday and the double play today. 2-0 as Hendricks leads off at first with 1 out. Crowd a little quiet now as the Orioles have come to life, and Robbie swings and misses. 2 balls, 1 strike. Blass ready, throws low and away. 3-1. Well, he went to 3-2 on Hendricks and lost him, walked him. Now Blass walks around and back of the mound. We'd like to say hello to all of you listening in Europe, in Asia, in South America, wherever it is on American Forces Radio, and of course to all of you here in the United States. Welcome to Pittsburgh in the 3rd game of the World Series. Blass back, and Brooks is swinging and missing. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch was low. Blass does a lot of walking around on the artificial turf around the mound, and once he steps back on the mound, he does a lot of gardening. This time he steps in ready for business. On 3-2, Brooks Robinson waits. 1 out. Hendricks is running with the pitch. The ball is popped up foul and back over our heads, and Hendricks will have to come out. Back. With 1 out, Earl Weaver had Ellie Hendricks off and running. 1 run, 1 hit. No errors for the Pirates, no runs, no hits, and 1 error for the Orioles. Blass ready, throws inside, foul back again. Rich Robinson fouled out and back off his fists. Still 3-2. This is a ball game the Pirates must win. If they do not, they'll be down 3-0, and all the Orioles would have to do is win 1 of all those that remain to wrap it up. Fastball fouled back again. Still 3-2. Yesterday, the Pirates used 6 pitchers, and only Dave Justy, who may have been out there for the exercise, was effective. 3-2. Blass ready it again. Let's see if Hendricks is off and running again. He's on his way. Here's the ball, and it's popped up this time to the right side. Bob Robertson, the first baseman, comes over in foul territory and has it for the second out. Well, Blass battled Brooks Robinson, and Blass won. Davey Johnson hitting at .333. Fine young second baseman. Right-handed hitter in this 1-0 ball game. In the first game of this series, McNally and the Orioles fell behind 3-0, won it 5-3. In the second game of the series, they broke on top and at one time were leading 11-0 before they won it 11-3. Hendricks still at first base. Pitch misses outside, 1-0. Blass had 5 shutouts during the regular season. Another pitch down low. It is 2-0. And that tied him in the National League along with Al Downing, who's got to be the comeback player of the year, Bob Gibson of the Cardinals, and Milt Pappas of the Chicago Cubs. Orioles down 1-0 and working on a 16-game winning streak that extends 11 games back into the regular season. 2-0 the count. Blass ready, throws low and inside, and it's 3-0 now to Johnson with Belanger on deck. Blass went 2-2 on Robinson before striking him out, 3-2 on Ellie Hendricks before walking him, and 3-2 and threw several more pitches. Robinson, high fly ball, center field. Al Oliver's there. Waits for it to come down and takes it for the third out. On the Baltimore second, no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 man left. We go to the last of the second with Pittsburgh leading the Orioles 1-0.
Hitting, pitching, and fielding. Well, friends, you need all 3 to win the pennant and to get into a World Series like this. 3 for the money performance. That's the mark of a World Series club. And that's the mark of a high-performance motor oil. You want a motor oil that's going to help your engine to start in all kinds of weather, to protect it in all kinds of weather, and keep it running clean in all kinds of weather. And that's just the kind of performance you get with Phillips Trop Arctic Motor Oil. All-weather starts, all-weather protection, and all-weather cleansing action. 3 for the money performance. Where do you get it? At the home of 3 for the money performance, the Phillips 66 station nearest you. The same place you get 3 for the money gasoline performance. Quick starts, good mileage, and cleansing action. Get 3 for the money performance now at Phillips 66. At Phillips 66, it's performance that counts. We pause 30 seconds for station identification.
I can't for the life of me think of one excuse for anyone to drive with wiper blades that are shot and streak the windshield. Nothing more dangerous than trying to drive with impossible vision in bad weather. And it's so easy to clear it all up with new Anco Rainmaster wiper blades, the ones with real rubber. Just pull in for gas where you see the big yellow Anco cabinet. Have the man snap on a new pair of Anco blades or refills while he fills your tank. That's Anco by Anderson.
WNBC, AM and FM, New York.
Together with Jim Simpson, Bill O'Donnell returning with you here at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh in Game 3 of the World Series. The Pirates are leading by a score of 1-0. And in the buck half of the second inning against Oriole left-hander Mike Cuellar, the Pirates will bat Manny Sanguillén, Jose Pagan, and Gene Alley. All right, Jim.
Sanguillén has a lifetime average in the National League of better than 300. Hit .319 this year, hitting at 111. Involved in quite a collision at home plate with Davey Johnson yesterday, and he is quite a free swinger. Good hitter. And Cuellar throws a strike at the knees to Sanguillén, who will not walk many times. He comes up there to swing the bat. 1-0. Pirates lead it. They are ready to throw again. Takes something off the breaking pitch. It's inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. In the Pittsburgh first inning, Cash hit the first pitch from Mike for a double down the left field line. He moved over to third base on the throwing error by Powell and scored on the infield out by Clemente. Pitch is inside, backing Sanguillén out of there. 2 balls, 1 strike. Because Cash would have reached third base on the ball hit by Oliver anyway, and because he would have scored anyway on the force play by Clemente, the run is earned. Drive left field, down the line. Deep. And is foul. 340, as Bill told you, down each line here. But the ball does carry well at Three Rivers Stadium. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Sanguillén. Jose Pagan is on deck. They play Manny just about straight away. Cuellar ready, throws. The ball is hit to right field this time. Robinson broke in, now goes back near the Dorning track and almost takes it over his shoulder with a casual catch for the first out of the Pittsburgh second. Well, Sanguillén pulled the first one down the left field line and then punched the right one to deep, the second one to deep right. That's why they play him straight away. Here's Jose Pagan, 0 for 4 in the first game. Danny Murtaugh, the Pittsburgh manager, said that he was going to start Hebner at third and Oliver in center regardless of what. Today came up with Pagan at third base. Ground ball. It is foul past Robinson at third. Murtaugh said it's because Hebner bounced the ball off his ankle yesterday while taking his swings and had a sore foot. Hebner says, I want to be playing. But Pagan is in there. 1 strike the count. Pitch is high and away. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Pagan had a great series, batting well over 300. While playing for San Francisco against the Yankees back in that long rain-delayed 1962 series. Swing and a miss. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. One out, last of the second. Cuellar back with the fastball, drilled down the left field line, and it is foul again. A couple of hard-hit pitches off Mike Cuellar. One went upstairs foul, and this one is about 70 feet down the line foul. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors for the Pirates. No runs, no hits, 1 error for the Orioles. We are in the last of the second with 1 out and nobody on. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes to Pagan, who steps back in. John Rice behind the plate today. Baltimore left-hander ready, takes something off the pitch, and Pagan just does get a piece of it as he fouls it back. John Rice, who is behind the plate, is from Homestead, Pennsylvania. Ed Vargo, who is umpiring at first, is from Butler, Pennsylvania. And Nestor Shylock out along the left field line is from Oliphant, Pennsylvania. Well, they've all come to their home state. 1 ball, 2 strikes, fastball accidentally fouled into the Pittsburgh dugout. Still 1-2. Remember, tomorrow's 4th game will take place tomorrow night, with a starting time shortly after 8 p.m. Eastern Time. First night game in World Series history. Ball is hit down the line. This will curve foul also. Can't help but remember the first couple of games. Well, let's just go back to yesterday. Jim Palmer, with a couple of men on, and 1 out or none out, got out of problems. After 1 run scored yesterday, still 2 on, and Cuellar got out of it. Another ball pulled foul, bounces off the seats and out into left field, where Nestor Shylock picks it up and tosses it in. I'm sure if you listened or read the papers this morning, you know that the Buccos left 14 men on base yesterday. That ties a World Series record. Cuellar ready for the 1-2 count. This one is a ball past the glove of the diving Brooks Robinson. Going into foul territory. Pagan on his way around first. Picked up by Buford, throws into the cutoff man, and there's a double. The second double off Cuellar this afternoon. And Gene Alley comes up in this 1-0 ball game. Robinson dove to his right, but the ball was down the line for the double. Here's Alley up for the first time in the World Series.
Jim, both these extra base wallops by the Pirates. Cash to lead off the bottom of the first, and now Pagan with 1 out here in the second. Both 2 baggers have been against off-speed Cuellar curves.
Ground ball. Davy Johnson, second base, goes down to one knee, throws on to first. There are two out. As Pagan moves easily to third base, and Steve Blass comes up. Pagan at third, two out, last of the second. The Pirates have broken on top. They lead 1-0. Their second run is standing down on third base, looking over to Frank Osiak, the third base coach. Blass bats as he throws from the right side. Cuellar is ready. Ground ball, chance for Belanger at shortstop, gobbles it up and has the easy throw to first base, and the Orioles are out of trouble. But a run's on one hit, a double. No errors, one man left. We've now gone 2 complete innings. The Pirates 1, and the Orioles nothing.
Hi, this is Joe Garagiola. Not so long ago, kids wanted to be pilots or firemen or ball players. Fortunately, a few of them became package designers instead, and today many of them work for Owens, Illinois, solving corrugated packaging problems like how to ship shoes, sailboats, auto parts, hairspray, and you name it. If your company could use some fresh ideas in corrugated packaging, ask the people at Owens, Illinois Forest Products Division. They're in the yellow pages.
He rode into town with a poker face, and his eyes were like red-hot lead. And you could tell he was looking for a game, because this is what he said. Get the girls, and let's all go bowling.
No matter what you hear, no matter get town, bowling is for everybody.
Bowling, it's for everybody. A perfect prescription to keep you feeling young and fit. The National Bowling Council says go bowling, weekends or daytimes during the week when there's little or no waiting.
Jim Simpson, if there has been a pattern within just 2 innings of a ball game, if there has been a pattern already, I would say the pattern has been so far against the off-speed curves of Cuellar. A year ago, when Cuellar had the 20 victory plus year, his best pitch a year ago in 1970 was the screwball. For the most part of 1971, Cuellar's out pitch and his best pitch was the off-speed curve. And consequently, most American League batters against that off-speed curve were lunging kind of swingers. Today, so far, the Pirates have not been lunging. They've been sitting back, pressuring that rear foot, and timing that off-speed curve perfectly, and also pulling it.
Mark Belanger leads off the Baltimore third. 1-0 the Pirates. Belanger will be followed by Mike Cuellar. Steve Blass, the pitcher. By the Pirates, kind of a milky sky today. Very high, just very stringy, misty-looking clouds. Beautiful day in Pittsburgh with the temperature near 60 degrees. Blass ready, throws low to Belanger. Belanger hitting .286 in this thus far short series. 1-0. Back with the three-quarter delivery, strikes. Hard slider, drops over. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Belanger never hit a home run all year. They play him a little bit around to the right. Fouls this pitch back to the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. But Belanger did have a fine year, hitting .266. His previous best year over the .280 mark a couple of years back. Mark from Pittsfield, Massachusetts, came into the league known as a glove man, a man that looked like Marty Marion, but don't count on him to hit too much. In '69, had a great year, and in this year, one of his better years, hitting well over .260. When you do that with his glove, you've got quite a shortstop. 1 ball, 2 strikes, changed, and just misses. Don Rice calls it ball 2, 2-2. Stares straight in, stands straight up, faces the batter. Now ready and throws, and Belanger pops it up. Short center field. Out goes Alley. Over comes Cash. Cash waves away Oliver and takes it right in front of Oliver, who is right there behind him. And there's 1 out in the third. Usually it is the on-rushing center fielder who will call off the infielders. Cash came over from right to left. Alley went back from left to right. Oliver came in. Cash waved them both off, and Cash and Oliver almost as if one. 1 out, and here's Cuellar. Mike, left-handed batter, as he is a pitcher, and I think you'll recall that a year ago, I believe it was out in Minnesota, wasn't it, Bill? The Grand Slam home run in the American League Championship playoffs. Takes outside, ball 1. 1-0 the Pirates. 1 out, top of the third. Blass right back with a fastball that's fouled off and will make the seats and back at third base.
Jim, one of the ironies to that Grand Slam home run you just commented about a year ago in the American League Championship Series, when Cuellar hit that home run, he pulled it down the right field line, took about 2 or 3 steps out of the batter's box, and began to come back to home plate. He thought it was going to go foul.
Slider misses outside, 2-1. Blass working very fast, is back again and throws an inside pitch that Cuellar swings and misses on, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Baltimore, pretty good record on the road. As a matter of fact, of their last 8 road games, they won them all. And, of course, the Pirates with a fabulous record at home. 2-2, back again, drive down the right field line. Over comes Roberto Clemente, near the line, and takes it at the warning track. Two down, and we go back to the top of the order, and Don Buford, who lined to Oliver in center field back in the first inning. Pirates lead it by 1. Top of the 3rd inning. Tomorrow's 4th game, a night game, and I can guarantee you one thing. In the hills of western Pennsylvania, bring your top coats. Buford's only had one opportunity to bat from the right side in the series. That was against Veal yesterday. Orioles call him their best leadoff man in history, reaching base more than 40% of the time. Takes a slider on the outside corner, strike 1. That hard slider Bill was talking about. No balls, 1 strike. Blass ready to throw. Changes on a breaking pitch, and way out in front is Buford, swinging strike 2. Blass off to a fine start. He has not allowed a hit thus far. He has walked 1 man. The other 8, he has retired. But in those playoffs, he lasted only 7 innings in 2 starts against the Giants. Maybe today is his day. Comes back with a fastball outside. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Buford with lots of speed. Pagan is back at 3rd base. Now the curveball, it just does miss inside. Pirate fans didn't think it did miss. 2-2. Buford, a .290 hitter during the regular season. Troubled a little bit with his knee in the playoffs. Injured a knee years ago playing for Southern Cal when he tackled Nick Petrosani. Ball is hit to the left side. Stargell is there, taking just a couple of steps, and it's another 1-2-3 inning for Steve Blass, who hasn't allowed a hit yet. No runs, hits, or errors. None left. We go to the last of the 3rd. Pirates 1, Orioles nothing.
You know, when most good hitters connect with the ball, they can tell right away whether it's going for the distance or popping up. They can feel the difference in their hands. And most men can feel the difference on their face when they shave. They can feel a smoother shave. And with Gillette Platinum Plus blades, you'll really feel the difference. Because Gillette Platinum Plus has the edge, a platinum smooth edge that gives you a close, smooth, more comfortable shave. So if you're not using them, try them. You'll feel the difference with Gillette Platinum Plus blades.
All right, my boy. We'll see how great this Gillette dry look is. We'll test it on the Frankenheimer Monster. First, set the adjustable valve for the control he needs. Now, I think he likes it. Yes, look at his hair. So natural, dry. Why, he looks almost human. You're welcome. Please, Monster, keep the Gillette dry look, but no hugging.
Bill O'Donnell and Jim Simpson with you at Pittsburgh. And with the Pirates coming to bat in the bottom of the 3rd, they lead by a score of 1-0. 1 run, 2 hits, no runs, no hits for the Orioles. And in the first 3 Baltimore trips to the plate, Steve Blass has accomplished in Game 3 what Doc Ellis in Game 1 nor Bob Johnson in Game 2 were able to accomplish, namely pull Baltimore scoreless.
Dave Cash takes a fastball in the outside corner. Cash, the first time up, saw a changeup and pulled the first pitch he saw for a double inside the 3rd baseline. Strike 1, and Cuellar's right back. Sinking pitch, it's 1 ball, 1 strike as it misses. Cash scored the only run of the ball game after the double, moving on to 3rd base on Oliver's ground ball, in which Powell made a throwing error, and scoring on Clemente's ground ball to the 2nd baseman. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This pitch catches the outside corner, and Dave Cash steps out to question John Rice and holds Bat in both hands, now steps back in, indicating how far off the plate it was. This one is in the dirt, and it's 2-2. Artificially turfed infield and outfield here at Three Rivers Stadium. Much unlike down in Baltimore, where Memorial Stadium has new sod as a result of football games, a lot of rain. There's a drive into short center field. Retman is right there to take it. Cash, who just lined out, and so he's doubled in line to center, has had a great year in this park, hitting .332 at home. Here's Al Oliver. Hit a ground ball that Boog Powell backhanded at first base. His throw to Cuellar was off the mark, and Powell drew an error. Back in the first inning, Oliver up for the second time, takes a breaking pitch outside. It's ball one. Oliver, left-handed batter. Hit .282 with 14 home runs during the regular season. Left-hander back. Ball is hit off the left side. Over goes Belanger, Robinson, and now Buford is over there, foul territory, and he has it down the foul line in left. There are 2 out. And here comes Roberto Clemente. Clemente hitting at .444 starting the day, failed to get a base hit. He has hit in 9 straight World Series games, but his ground ball did drive in the only run of this game. We're in the last of the third, 1-0 the Pirates. And big Willie Stargell stands on deck. Cuellar is ready and throws an overhand pitch. Robinson charges at third base, gloves it, throws on to Powell at first, and that's the easiest inning that Mike Cuellar's had. No runs, hits, errors, none left. We've gone 3 complete innings. Pirates 1, Orioles nothing.
Hello, I'm Johnny Cash. Coming through for Chrysler Plymouth. Here's a song that tells you something about a car that's built for you. Chrysler Plymouth coming through. Take a look at the 1972 Plymouth Duster. It's just small enough and just big enough to make it just right. You want a car that's built to last, and it's still good looking too. Chrysler Plymouth knows you want your car that way. From the inside to the outside, it's a car that's here to stay. That's the kind of car that's coming through today. Chrysler Plymouth coming through.
Well, through the first 3 innings, the Pirate right-hander Steve Blass has allowed the Orioles only 1 base runner. That's when he walked Elrod Hendricks on a 3-2 pitch with 1 out in the top of the second inning. He cut down Baltimore 1-2-3 in the first inning. He cut them down again 1-2-3 in the top of the third, and now in the top of the fourth. It'll be Blass to face Rettenmund, Powell, Frank Robinson, and here's Jim Simpson.
Thanks, Bill. Rettenmund grounded out. He had shortstop back in the first inning, 0 for 1. Blass ready to throw. Outside and low, ball 1. They just put a message out on the message board that the president of the American League, Joe Cronin, has his birthday today. Made his major league debut back in 1925. Blass throws low. It's 2-0, which brings to mind that Tony Kubek, former Yankee and for the last 6 years a member of the NBC baseball crew, has a birthday today, and a native of the Pittsburgh area, the second baseman of the Chicago Cubs, who was hurt in the late season while making a run for the batting championship, Glenn Beckert, has a birthday today. 2-0, Blass throws, swing and a miss by Rettenmund. It's 2 balls, 1 strike. Orioles won the first game 5-3 on home runs, won the second game 11-3 on 14 singles. They haven't had a base hit of any kind, and this is the third game. 2-1, Blass ready, throws, it's on the corner, on the outside corner. Rettenmund steps out. Did not think so, and stares out toward right field. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rettenmund with fine power, 11 home runs, 75 RBIs during the regular season, has a closed stance from the right side. Ball is hit off the end of his bat out toward right field. Clemente on the run, still running now. They're near the line and makes the basket catch for the first out of the Baltimore fourth. Boog Powell hit the first pitch and grounded to Cash to end the first inning. keep waiting for Powell to break out of it. He has been in trouble with those torn tendons on the back of his right hand. Thought he had broken his wrist again. That is not so. Can play. The shift is on against him around to the right as he takes a breaking pitch for strike one. Alley is over on the first base side of second. Cash has moved back on the artificial turf between first and second. Robertson very deep. Oliver around to right center. Clemente near the line. Big gap in left center field. Boog Powell watches another breaking pitch come inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-0. Pirates. Before a rather quiet Pittsburgh crowd, they thought they had the Orioles on the ropes in the first inning and scored but 1 run. And we've got a long way to go. We're in the top of the fourth. Blass ready, throws a fastball dry, but it is pulled foul down near and into the Pittsburgh bullpen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Unlike Baltimore, where the sun comes in over from the third base side and creeps out toward right field, here it comes in over the first base side out near the right field corner and then begins to creep across the diamond toward first base, then second and third. Sun is shining brightly. Blass took so long that Powell steps out, gets a little dirt on his hands. Now set for the 1-2 pitch. Changed up, breaking pitch inside. It is 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Blass ready, throws him a curve that drops over, and he is out of there on strike. Blass's second strikeout. Here's the other man that struck out, swinging at a fastball, Frank Robertson, who started off the second inning by striking out. Frank went down on the swinging fastball. Powell looked at a curve that dropped over. Blass ready to throw to the right-hander. Swing, fouled at the plate. 1 strike. In the opener of the World Series Saturday down in Baltimore with a score of 3-0 after that horrendous inning that the Orioles had a field and McNally had, walking a man and throwing a wild pitch, as Frank Robinson has stepped up and hit the home run that made it 3-1 and kind of gave the Orioles the impetus to come on back, which they did. Blass ready with a 1-strike pitch. Throws a fastball. It's up in under the chin. Robinson backs out. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pirate crowd rather quiet since the first inning in which Pittsburgh scored its only run. And the only run of the game. Blass ready, back with another fastball. It's out to right field. Clemente only has to move a few steps off to his left, waiting, and there's the basket catch again. The runs, hits, or errors. Nobody's had a hit off Blass yet. We go to the last of the fourth, and it's the Pirates 1, the Orioles nothing.
The retail store employees unions are well known for their achievements on behalf of more than 600,000 members. Their union agreements with employers provide for good wages, liberal hospitalization, and retirement plans. They vote on their union agreements by secret ballot. The Retail Clerks Union urge all adult Americans to be sure and register to vote. This message from the Retail Store Employees Union in your community, chartered by the Retail Clerks International Association in Washington. 20006.
Having fun, Dolly?
Oh, yes, Andy. I love football. And the quarterback reminds me so much of STP oil treatment.
Why? Because his uniform is red, white, and blue?
No, Andy, because of the way he keeps the team together. The same way STP helps to keep all the engine parts together, to run smoother, quieter, longer.
You're really scoring points now, Dolly.
Right now, we pause 30 seconds for station identification.
Easy to forget about your wiper blades if you have the hidden wipers on your car. Out of sight, out of mind. But the rubber can go dead just as quick on hidden wipers as those out in the glass. When it does, stop where you see the big yellow Anco wiper cabinet. Let the man at the pump replace or refill your streaking wipers with fresh new Anco Rainmaster wiper blades. He can do it in seconds. Anco by Anderson, the windshield wipers specialist.
WNBC, AM and FM, New York.
Back in Pittsburgh, Jim Simpson with Bill O'Donnell. Willie Stargell steps in and takes a breaking pitch outside from Cuellar. Ball one. Stargell has hit 21 home runs here at Pittsburgh during the regular season. The other 27, of course, came on the road as he led the major leagues with 48. 1-0 the score. Cuellar right back, breaking pitch, catches the outside corner, strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike to Stargell. But Bob Robertson, another slugger, waiting on deck. 1-1 the count. Overhand breaking pitch, misses down low. 2 balls, 1 strike. Naturally, Don Leppert, the first base coach, backs out of the coaching box and way down the line against this left-handed pull hitter Stargell. Low again. It is 3 balls, 1 strike. Bretman over in right center field. Belanger is on the third base side of second, but deep and very near the bag. 1-0 the score, 3-1 the count to Stargell. Let's see if he's swinging on 3-1. Comes back with a high fastball, never gets a chance to swing, draws the walk. Second given up by Mike Cuellar. Here comes big Bob Robertson. With 2 men on and 1 out in the first inning, Robertson pulled a vicious line drive, but right at Brooks Robinson and converted into a double play. 1-0 the score. The Pirate fans now feel they have a chance to break this open. Although 1 man is on and nobody's out, and here's Robertson. But this is the heart of their lineup. Stargell, Robertson, and Sanguillén, a good average hitter, due up. Robertson swings at the first pitch, pulls it foul on the ground past Osiak, a third base coach. One of the guard picks it up down the foul line and left. 1 strike. Only run scored in this game on a double by Cash in the first, who moved to third on an infield play and scored on an infield grounder. Cuellar ready for the 1-strike pitch. Ground ball foul behind the plate. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for the Pirates. No runs, no hits, 1 error for the Orioles. We are in the last of the 4th. And Mr. Blass has been invincible. He has given up a walk, and that is all. Stargell, who is on at first base now with a walk, has walked for the 5th time in this series. Cuellar back, throws high and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Willie Stargell has not been hitting for the average in this series, but he has turned in several fine defensive plays in the outfield, including a dandy throw from deep left. 1-2. Pitch is in the dirt. Hendricks keeps it in front of him. It's 2-2. Baltimore bullpen was busy back in the first inning. Dave Leonard was up and throwing. Nobody is up and throwing now. Cuellar throws a strike, and Robertson just watched it go over the plate and says something as he walks away from John Rice. Hard breaking pitch that dropped across the plate. Cuellar, his first strikeout, and what a spot to have it, the strikeout Bob Robertson. That's Stargell at first. Here's Manny Sanguillén, who flied to right. Sanguillén, you'll recall, pulled the ball down the left field line foul, and then the next pitch he flied to right field. He can hit the ball to all fields, has occasional power, but is up there to swing, not to take pitches. And he swings and drives 1 to short center field. Retman will play it on the hop, and stopping at second is Stargell. Base hit off Cuellar and brings up Jose Pagan, who has one of them. A double down the left field line inside the bag at third base. Back in the second inning. Now again, as Baltimore pitchers have been for so many times in this World Series, at least 2 men on and no more than 1 out. The problem for the Pirates has been, until now, they have not been able to capitalize on the big inning. Pirate fans would like to see that happen now. Pagan is there, right-handed batter. It's the first one high and not too deep to center field. Retman does have to back a bit, and quickly there are 2 out. And that brings up Gene Alley, who's getting the call today over Jackie Hernandez at shortstop. Alley last time up hit the first pitch and grounded to Johnson at second base. 1-0 the Pirates. We're in the last of the 4th inning of a fast-moving, low-scoring ball game. Excellent pitching on both sides, with, of course, Steve Blass with his no hits allowed and only 1 base runner, that on a walk, has the upper hand for the moment, or I should say the edge. 1-0 over Mike Cuellar. Alley waits. Stargell down at second. Sanguillén on at first now with 2 out in the last of the 4th. Cuellar throws outside. It is ball 1. Only 4 teams in history have come back to win a best-of-7 World Series. After dropping the first 2, the Pirates would like to become the 5th team in history. Cuellar is back again and misses outside again. 2-0. Steve Blass, the pitcher, is on deck. And although the temperature is only in the 60s here, the sun is so bright that Blass kneels on deck without benefit of a jacket. 2-0 the count. Alley waiting, high, change. It is 3-0. Cuellar now in danger of walking. The bases loaded. And on 3-0 and with Blass due up, Alley stepped out and took a good long look at his coach, Frank Osiak, at third. With the pitcher coming up, 2 out. Does he swing away on a 3-0 pitch? Cuellar ready, throws, and it's a breaking pitch that is ball 4, and the bases are loaded, and Blass is coming up with 2 outs. That's the 3rd walk, 2 in this inning, surrendered by Mike Cuellar. Now the Baltimore bullpen is getting busy again. Steve Blass. Last time up, hit the first pitch and grounded to short. Cuellar will go to work on him now and comes in. There's a ground ball. Brooks Robinson backs at third, goes down to second base for the forced play, and they're out of it. Just like that. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 3 men are left. They have now gone through 4 complete innings. The Pirates hold the lead over Baltimore. Pittsburgh 1, Baltimore nothing.
This is Kyle Road with some more baseball fans getting their first look at a revolutionary new 2-bladed razor from Gillette. The new Gillette Track 2 twin-blade shaving system.
The 2 blades may work together. What one doesn't catch, the other might catch.
I've never seen any other razor like it. With 2 blades, it's very different.
Got 2 blades, one following the other. Certainly worth trying.
Strange-looking razor with a lot of possibilities.
The new Gillette Track 2 razor. It's 1 blade better than whatever you're using now.
Well, I don't know how they're going to top its predecessor, but they always keep coming up with a better one.
Do you know who pitched the longest game in World Series history? Well, he was a left-hander, not very famous for his pitching. He threw 13 1/3 straight innings of scoreless ball, then won the game in the 14th inning. Of course, it doesn't take 14 innings of series action to turn the heat on. One's more than enough. That's why Gillette, though, is fitting this year to send each team a free case of Right Guard antiperspirant. Right Guard Super Dry Aerosol with the best wetness fighter that comes in a spray. Really helps keep you dry when the heat's on. Oh, the name of that pitcher? The name of that pitcher was Babe Ruth. Well, we're now going to the top of the 5th inning in Game 3 of the World Series, and the Pirates are still leading by a score of 1-0. They got their go-ahead run in the very first inning. They've got 3 base hits off Cuellar, and Baltimore has yet to get a base hit off the Pirate right-hander Steve Blass. They have only that 1 base runner, the walk, with 1 out in the 2nd inning to Elrod Hendricks. And it's Hendricks now to start the top of the 5th inning, and to start it with you again, Jim Simpson.
Hendricks, left-hander, lots of power. Right-hander's Blass, ready to go to work. He's a fast worker and throws a breaking pitch, a slider on the outside. It is ball 1. Hearing you talk about Babe Ruth, Bill, reminds me that Baltimore is the birthplace of Babe Ruth. Baltimore is where he first made his reputation, where the Orioles are now making their reputation. Blass back with a pitch that is hit off the left side. Probably will make the seats, given chase by Pagan, and it's about 3 rows back. But speaking of the state of Maryland, Jimmy Fox, Home Run Baker, quite a few top players from the state of Maryland, including the fabulous Babe Ruth. And, of course, a member of the Pirate lineup, Bob Robertson from Mount Savage. 1 ball, 1 strike to Hendricks. 1-0 the score. Blass ready, throws foul to the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Blass has just had a super performance. Retired the side in the order in the first inning, got the first man in the second, gave up the walk to Hendricks on a 3-2 pitch, and since that time has retired the last 8 men in a row. 1-2, inside breaking pitch at Hendricks, fouls into the Pittsburgh dugout. Again, as before, for Hendricks, they have the shift on with Ali on the first base spot of second. Cash deep on the artificial turf. Robertson playing close to the line and deep. 1-2, and foul tip caught by Sanguillén. Strikeout number 3 for Steve Blass. The 9th man in a row he's retired. With 1 out on the top of the 5th, here's Brooks Robinson, who fouled to Bob Robertson last time up in the 2nd inning. Blass throws him a breaking pitch. Strike 1. One run, 3 hits, no errors for the Pirates. No runs, no hits. 1 error for the Orioles. The error was not costly. Another breaking pitch outside off the glove of Sanguillén. 1 ball and 1 strike. It is the Pirates who have had many scoring opportunities, and they left many on base, including 3 in the last inning. The Orioles have only had 1 base runner, high fastball, and Robinson swings and misses. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Talk about a pitcher having his, quote, stuff, end of quote. Blass has that today. Good fastball, good hard slider, and he has changed on his curve effectively. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Back again, fastball is way outside, 2-2. They play Brooks straight away. Sanguillén is given a sign. Here's a curveball that has bounced foul and taken by Billy Hunter, barehanded, third base coaching box, and he tosses the ball back to Blass. Billy was something yesterday. There was a sharp grounder by him, and he very quickly drew his hand out of the way very wisely. They kind of gave him the raspberry down in Baltimore. Then they threw a long ball in from left field, and he nonchalantly took it with his bare hand. Drive. This may drop in there. Stargell is on his way over, bounces in front of him, and Brooks Robinson has the first base hit off Steve Blass. Now with 1 on, here's Dave Johnson, who flied to short center field and the 2nd inning, up for the 2nd time. Pirates lead it by 1. We're in the top of the 5th inning. And the Orioles are trying to get something going. They own the lead in the World Series 2-0, winning the first game 5-3 behind McNally. The second, yesterday, 11-3 behind Palmer. Steve Blass is trying to get the Buccos on the board. Tomorrow's 4th game will be the first World Series night game in history, starting shortly after 8 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. Blass ready, and only for the 2nd time in the game pitching out of a stretch with a man on at first base. Looks back at Robinson and throws the fastball that catches the inside corner. Strike 1. Johnson, a pretty good series. 2 RBIs, hitting .333 before starting this game today. 0 for 1 in this game. Blass back to throw again, fouled back, and quickly Blass is out in front of Johnson, 0-2. The last 19 Oriole hits in this series, including all 14 yesterday and 1 today, have been singles, all since that home run by Don Buford in the 5th inning of the first game. The Orioles have out-homered the Pirates 3-1, but not lately. 2 strikes to count. Ball. There goes the ball and the bat. The ball goes to Ali, who scoops the ball over to Cash at second for the force out. And Johnson reaches on the force. The bat wound up near the pitcher's mound. 2 out. Johnson at first, and here's Mark Belanger. Also fly to center. His only other time up. Belanger, right-handed batter, closed stance, chokes way up on the bat, will not hit, as we said, for power. No home runs all year long. Now he's going to step out for some reason. Looking down to the base runner, Davy Johnson at first base, being held there by Bob Robertson. Now steps in. Blass checks over at first base, but Johnson is only maybe a step off at the bag. Sidearm pitch, and Swing and a miss by Belanger for strike one. Blass occasionally will drop down, 3/4, nearly sidearm. 1-0 the Pirates in the 5th inning before a very quiet crowd at Three Rivers Stadium. Another check over to first base, and again Dave Johnson is just perhaps a step away. Belanger, they shade him around toward right to the opposite field. Another pitch called strike this time, and it's 0-2 to Mark Belanger. Johnson just a couple of feet away from the bag, but Blass checks over there for the 3rd time, and Davey trots back. Blass wants to make sure he stays there. Ball is drilled on the ground to Alley, who waves away. Cash and steps on the bag at second, and Blass is out of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the last of the 5th inning with the score still the Pirates 1 and the Orioles nothing. You know, it takes more than good performance for a team to win the pennant and get into the World Series. It takes great performance. 3 for the money performance. A World Series team has to excel at all 3, hitting, pitching, and fielding. And it's a lot like that in gasolines, too. Good performance isn't enough. The gasoline that's going to get you everything your car has to give you great performance. 3 for the money performance. Not just quick starts, not just good mileage, not just cleansing action, but all 3. And that's just what you get from Phillips 3 for the money performance gasolines. Quick starts, good mileage, and cleansing action. And that adds up to great performance. Get it now at the Phillips 66 station nearest you. At Phillips 66, it's performance that counts. Well, we're about to move into the last of the 5th inning, and the top of the batting order for the Pirates. Davy Cash will lead it off, and he's got the only run of the ball game. In the 1st inning, he hit the first pitch down the left field line for a double, moved over on Al Oliver's infield ground ball, and scored on Clemente's infield ground ball, and it's 1-0 right there. The Pirates left a man on in that 1st inning, another on in the 2nd, and 3 in the 4th. The Orioles, who never scratched with a base hit off Steve Blass until the 5th, have left 2 men on, Hendricks, who walked in the 1st, and Johnson, who reached on a force play after the Robinson single in the 5th. So thus far, the Pirates' welcome home to Three Rivers Stadium has been a great one, but that's a very slim lead they take in to the last of the 5th inning, 1-0 over Baltimore. And for the second half of the play-by-play, let's call in from the Baltimore Orioles, Bill O'Donnell.
Thank you, Jim Simpson, and good afternoon, everybody, again, as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, and it's the top of the Pirate order. And it's Dave Cash, then Bob Oliver, and the right fielder, Roberto Clemente. Here's the windup, and Cuellar's first pitch is in. A knee-high strike to the right-hand swings of Dave Cash. He pulled a double just inside the 3rd base line in the 1st inning, and he has scored this game's only run. He flied to center in the 3rd. The 1-strike pitch by Cuellar is outside and low. 1 ball and 1 strike to young Dave Cash. Cash goes right to the front of the box now against Cuellar. Cuellar's 1-1er on the way to Cash. It is grounded foul just outside the Orioles' 3rd base dugout. Baltimore occupies the 3rd base dugout here at the stadium in Pittsburgh, and the home dugout, the Bucco dugout's on the 1st base side. Cuellar cranking up, and he comes in 1-2. He's inside with a fastball to Cash. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cash began game 3 of the series at 1 for 9, so right now he is 2 for 11. 2-2 are on the way to Cash. Here's a slow trickler foul down the 3rd base side and fielded by the Pirate 3rd base coach Frank Osiak. So we've got a riding count now on the duel between Cuellar and Cash at 2-2. The cool Cuban against the young man out of Utica, New York, Dave Cash. 2-2 pitch coming in. Here's a high fly, dead centered. Rettenmund's got it measured. He's just moving back 1 stride, and it's in the glove. Cash skies to center fielder Rettenmund. 1 away in the Pirate 5th inning. Now to the Pirate center fielder, Bob Oliver. Safe on a throwing error by first baseman Powell in the opening inning when Cuellar was covering first base. Oliver, in his last trip in the 3rd, foul to the left fielder Buford. He's played into right by the Oriole outfield. High breaking ball is 1 ball and no strikes to Oliver. Oliver at the moment is 1 for 8 in the World Series. He stands in the middle of the box and he's well off the plate. The 1-0 deal. Fanned at and missed. He chased a high pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's 1 away and the bases are empty and the Pirates are leading 1-0. It's a run, 3 hits for Pittsburgh, no runs, 1 hit for Baltimore. And we've got a little confab now going on between Hendricks, the catcher, and Cuellar's pitcher. Just to reset in case you're joining us along the way, and all around the world as a matter of fact, defensively, Powell at first base, Johnson at second, Belanger short, Brooks Robinson third, and it's Buford, Rettenman, Robinson in the outfield. 1-1 deal. Breaking ball, low and outside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Bob Oliver. Oliver closes his stance just a little bit. Cuellar to his move, and in he comes 2-1. Here's a foul, straight back. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Bob Oliver. He'll be followed by Mr. Pirate, Roberto Clemente. Well, the Pirate fans naturally here in Pittsburgh feel their Buck team is overdue with a bat. Breaking ball is low outside. He took something off it. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 to Al Oliver, batting with 1 gone in the bottom of the 5th inning. The deal by Cuellar, 3-2. Low and away, he loses him on a 3-2 pitch. That's the 4th walk given up by Cuellar. He loses Al Oliver with 1 gone in the bottom of the 5th inning. Oliver now, for the 2nd time today, is a Pirate base runner. In the ball game so far, Cuellar has walked Stargell twice. He also lost Alley in the 4th inning, as he did Stargell. Now he gives Oliver a 1-out ticket here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And the Pirate fans' applause is for Roberto Clemente. Out on a fielder's choice in the 1st inning. But on that ground ball, fielder's choice enabled Cash to romp home from 3rd, and that's how the Pirates are leading 1-0. Roberto also bounced out 3rd to 1st in the 3rd inning. At the moment, Clemente, 4 hits and 11 trips. For the year, batted .341 with 13 homers and 86 RBIs. Powell bird dogging at first base with the runner Al Oliver. Cuellar setting and firing. Low outside. He took something off that pitch to Clemente. Clemente tried to continue a string, which right now shows him hitting safely in 9 straight World Series ball games. The 1-0 fastball line to center. Rettenman can't get to it. Base hit. Oliver turns second, goes to 3rd, and the throw goes to 3rd base late. Goes by Brooks Robinson, backed up by Cuellar. Cuellar can't throw to second, and Clemente is in sliding safely. A line shot slightly to right center. Fielded by Rettenman. Al Oliver rounded second, beat Rettenman's throw to 3rd. It went a little bit over the 3rd base foul line by Brooks Robinson, was backed up by Cuellar, and as Cuellar was reaching in the glove with the ball, he could not make a move nor a toss towards Clemente, romping to second. So the Pirates have 2 on, 1 out, first base is open. Willie Stargell against Clemente. He swings and doesn't get the off-speed breaking ball, strike 1. Clemente going to second base additionally has Brooks Robinson at 3rd, charged with an error on the reception of the throw by center fielder Rettenman. Pirate runners 2nd and 3rd, 1 gone. The 0-1 is inside to Willie Stargell. So give Clemente a single, a base hit to right center. Advancing to second as Oliver slid safely into 3rd, and the throw got by Brooks Robinson. The ball 1, strike 1 deal to Stargell. High, a throw to 3rd is late, and just sliding back in safely is Oliver. The ball got away from Brooks Robinson and also hit the sliding Oliver as he dove back to 3rd base. The Pirate trainer rushing out, along with the 3rd base coach Frank Osiak, and the other Pirate base runner, Roberto Clemente. As Oliver was coming down the line with Clemente at second base on the pitch to Stargell, Hendricks rifled a toss to 3rd baseman Brooks Robinson, and it hit the runner. It may have hit him above the left eye or to the side of the left eye. Oliver now is beginning to sit up, and there's Yes, he was diving back to third base on the throw about knee-high to Brooks Robinson. It glanced off the left side of his face and then came off the arm and the glove of Brooks Robinson and stayed along the third base foul line. Oliver now is beginning to rise to his feet, and he says he's okay. So naturally, the happiest man in the ballpark right now is Al Oliver, but just as happy is the Pirate manager, Danny Murtaugh, that Oliver can remain in the ballgame. Meanwhile, Cuellar had been keeping his arm warm with Hendricks, and for the moment, Cuellar's concentration is over towards Oliver at third base with the third base coach, Frank Osiak. So Oliver's okay. On the attempted pickoff throw by Hendricks, Oliver was hit in the face by the throw, diving back towards third.
Bill Arcano points out one of the theories of the Pirates. They wear their batting helmets at all times, figuring that they're going to in more danger of getting hurt on the base paths than they are in the batter's box.
Cuellar, 2 balls and 1 strike to the power of Willie Stargell. 2 on, 1 gone. Fastball burning in for a strike at the knee. So Cuellar just reached back and showed Stargell his very best heat. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Clemente at second. Oliver at third. Pirates leading 1-0 in the bottom of inning 5. 2-2 to Stargell. Strike 3, knee high, outside corner. Stargell becomes Cuellar's second strikeout victim in this ball game. And naturally, it's not only out number 2, but a big out, getting rid of the power of Stargell, who poked out 48 home runs this year. Now to perhaps the equally dangerous, from a long ball standpoint, Bob Robertson. Robertson, 26 home runs for the campaign. He is 0 for 2 in this game today. He is hitless in the World Series. He is 0 for 8. Clemente second, Oliver third, 2 gone. A cut and a miss by Robertson for strike 1. Now, most of Robertson's swings are uppercut kind of strokes. He is played to pull by Buford in left. He is played back halfway at third by Brooks Robinson. He is played to the hole by the shortstop Belanger. 0-1. Screwball moves outside. 1 ball, 1 strike between the left arm of Cuellar and the pulling power of the right-hand swinging Robertson. He lined into a first-inning double play, looked at a chest-high fastball for strike 3 in the 4th. The 1-1 to Robertson is grounded foul out towards the Oriole dugout on the third base side. Oliver at third, Clemente at second. Pirates leading 1-0. They've got Cuellar against the ropes here in the bottom of the 5th. 1-2. Swing and a miss at a fastball. Robertson strikes out for the second time, and Cuellar gets his 3rd strikeout in the ball game and pulls out of a jam at the end of 5 innings of play. Pittsburgh 1, Baltimore 0.
No matter what your game is, there's another game in town.
Bowling, it's for everybody. It's easy, it's inexpensive, it's great fun, and it's wonderful exercise.
Bowling, it's for everybody.
Join the fun. Go bowling. There's no better way to unwind. Remember, there's more room to spare on weekends and daytimes during the week.
Bowling, it's for everybody.
National Bowling Council, Washington, D.C.
Hi, this is Joe Garagiola. There's no business like show business, but when the star is sick, you call in an understudy. The name of this game is temporary help. And in business, the name of temporary help is Manpower. Manpower has people with skills that range all the way from typing and filing to bridge building and computer programming. So whenever you need an understudy, call Manpower.
Keep up the good work with Manpower.
We pause 30 seconds for station identification.
When messy, salty road splash hits your windshield, and it does, you better have fresh wiper blades going if you want an even chance. And a new pair of Anco Rainmaster blades will take care of anything that globs onto your windshield. They're the blades with real rubber. Look for the big yellow Anco cabinet. It's only a snap of the fingers away in good service stations everywhere. Get the Anco Outlook. Anco by Anderson.
WNBC, AM and FM, New York.
From Pittsburgh with Bill O'Donnell, this is Jim Simpson. Well, yesterday the Pirates left 14 men on base as they lost 11-3. Today they are leading 1-0, but nevertheless they can talk about missed opportunities, win or lose. They have now left 7 men on base as we go to the top of the 6th inning. And here's Bill O'Donnell.
All right, Jim, the Oriole pitcher, Mike Cuellar, starts it off, and he takes a high deal from Steve Blass to go ahead, ball one. Cuellar, then Don Buford, and Merv Rettenmund, and Pittsburgh is on top 1-0. The next delivery to Cuellar is outside and high. 2 balls and no strikes. A little earlier in the ball game, although he was pitching hitless ball, Blass had some struggling situations with his control. He has given up but 1 base hit and fanned 3. His next delivery to Cuellar is low. So he's given an elevator ride now with his pitches. He's gone up and outside, down and inside to Cuellar to go behind 3 balls and no strikes. Cuellar pulled a pitch and lined it to right fielder Clemente just inside the right field foul stripe in the 3rd inning. 3-0 by Blass is a strike at Cuellar's knees. Up to the carpet inside the bag at third is Pirate third sacker Pagan. 3 balls, 1 strike to the left-hand swings of Cuellar. The right-hander's 3-1 is ball 4. So Baltimore leads off the top of the 6th inning as Cuellar works against Blass and draws a walk. Walk number 2 issued by Blass. He passed Hendricks with 1 gone in the top of the 2nd. He tickets Cuellar to first base to begin the top of the 6th inning. Now lead off. Batting from the left side against the right-hander Blass, Buford has twice flied to the left fielder. Cuellar's lead at first base, and he's held there by Robertson. The pitch to Buford. Swings and misses. He took the full cut. Pagan a couple of steps inside the bag at third against Buford. Pittsburgh 1, Baltimore 0. Game 3 and the top of the 6th inning. Clemente in right plays little Buford to pull. Stargell plays Buford over towards left. The 1 striker, but will wait on a move to first base, and Cuellar just gets there ahead of Blass's move to Robertson. Now, the general consensus on the Pirate Ball Club is that 2 fellows on their staff have great moves to first base. A reliever, Moose, and this Pirate starter today, Steve Blass. Blass, 29-year-old right-hander, wound up the regular season in fine style, had trouble in the playoffs against the Giants. The 1-strike pitch. Fanned that and missed again. 0-2 to Buford. Now, Buford is not built on the big side like a right-handed swinging counterpart to the Pirates' Bob Robertson. But much the same as Robertson, Buford's strokes are mostly uppercut strokes. Another toss to first base, and Cuellar is back safely. Still inside the bag, right on the rim of the carpet, despite the fact there are 2 strikes to Buford, is third baseman Pagan. 1 on, nobody out. The 2-striker to Buford is high and outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. To completely set now the Pirate infield for you, Alley, the shortstop, is shading his glove side to the bag. Second baseman Cash is back about a little bit deeper than halfway. Clemente pulled to right. Oliver shades a bit to right center. In straightaway left against the left-hand batter is Stargell. 1-2 to Buford. He fouls it straight back off his hands. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Here in the top of the 6th inning, after 5 innings plus the leadoff batter Cuellar, the Orioles have only reached a blast for 3 base runners. The walk to Hendricks in the 2nd, the base hit by Brooks Robinson with 1 gone top of the 5th, and the leadoff walk a couple of moments ago to Cuellar. The 1-2 is in the dirt, blocked by Sanguillén, and Cuellar stays at first base. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Blass for the Pirates during the regular campaign made 33 starts, and that topped the staff. He had 12 complete games, and that topped the Pirates staff. He won 15, he lost 8. As a matter of fact, Steve Blass beat every National League club with 1 exception, San Francisco. Robertson plays back of Cuellar's lead now at first base. On the 2-2er, Buford takes strike 3. It's shoot off the outside corner at Buford's belt. 4 strikeouts. 4 strikeouts for Blass. And the first killing in the top of the 6th inning. It will bring up Merv Rettenmund. Rettenmund has bounced out short to first. He has also flied to right fielder Clemente, and that was just inside the right field line in the 4th inning. Rettenmund right now 3 for 11 in World Series action this year. Cuellar's lead not held by Robertson. A breaking ball snapped back to the mound, fielded by Blass. Makes his toss to first in time to Robertson. And on the tapper in front of the mound, advanced Cuellar to second base. Rettenmund becomes out number 2. At second base is Cuellar with 2 gone, and the batter will be Boog Powell. Powell shows only 1 hit in the World Series so far. He is 1 for 10. He is 0 for 2 today. He has bounced out to second, then looked at an off-speed curve in the 4th inning for strike 3. So far in all 3 World Series games, Pirate pitchers have thrown Powell a lot of off-speed stuff. Way around to right field against Powell's power is Clemente. Pulled just as much into right center as Oliver. Into left center is Stargell. The shortstop alley playing to the first base side of second. Cuellar's lead at second with 2 gone. High to Boog Powell, ball 1. Powell into about mid-August did not have the high average. He was just either a little bit below 200 or slightly above 200. And then from mid-August on, began to hit the ball hard and raised his average to finish up at 256. On the ball 1 deal by Blass, here's a ground ball back of first base, fielded cleanly by Robertson, runs to the bag for the unassisted putout. Powell and Baltimore have been retired. No runs, no hits, 1 left. After 5.5 innings, Pittsburgh 1, Baltimore nothing.
Here's a song that tells you something about a car that's built for you. Miss Fury, coming on through. Hi there, I'm Sarah Vaughn, coming through for Chrysler Plymouth. You know, the 1972 Fury is styled to look good for a long time. And that's really great. Because it's a car that's built to last. Right on. You want a car that's built to last, and it's still good looking too. The Miss Fury is a car they build that way. From the inside to the outside, it's a car that's here to stay. That's the kind of car that's coming through today.
You can hardly fault the pitching of Mike Cuellar, the Baltimore pitcher, in a 20-game winner. Cuellar's allowed only 1 run. That was on a base hit and a couple of infield outs back in the 1st inning. He has been in trouble in the 2nd, again in the 4th, and again in the 5th. But the Pirates are back to their old tricks of yesterday, and that they've left 7 men on. But Steve Blass has been the better pitcher today. He has allowed only 1 base hit. That was in the 5th inning. He has walked 2 men, and the Orioles have stranded all 3 men on deck, on base. And, of course, Blass went in trouble. After walking the pitcher, got the next 3 men, Buford, Rettenmund, and Powell, 1, 2, 3, just as Cuellar, back in the 5th inning, with men at first and third and only 1 out, struck out Stargell and Robertson. Quite a performance. But the Pirates thus far having the edge 1-0. We go to the last of the 6th, Sanguillén, Pagan, and Alley, and here's Bill.
Sanguillén has flied to right. He has singled to center in this ball game, and after Sanguillén here in the Pirates' 6th inning, Cuellar will also face Pagan and Alley. Sanguillén, right-hand batter, bends at the knees towards the plate. Here's an off-speed curve, fanned at and missed, and here's Sanguillén completely losing his balance. That off-speed curve delivered by Cuellar and missed completely by Sanguillén was that one big pitch that Cuellar used most of the year and had so much success with. He's ahead of Sanguillén 0-1. Rocking back, coming in with his 0-1. The fastball lined right center, base hit. Rettenmund running it down, gets to it. Here's Sanguillén going for 2. The throw is late to second base and to the outfield side of second. Sanguillén dove in, arms extended, to get a double into right center and beat the throw by Rettenmund. The toss by Rettenmund was not on target. It was to the outfield side of the base at second. Sanguillén on a 2-for-3 afternoon. It's the Pirates now getting away quickly in the bottom of the 6th inning. on a leadoff two-bagger. They now have 5 hits off Cuellar. 3 of the 5 have been doubles by Cash, by Pagan, and now this one by Sanguillén to right center. Here's Pagan with a two-bagger and his sky to center as Cuellar works him in the dirt, ball 1. Pagan is 1 for 6 in this World Series. In early August, he came out of the Pirate uniform because he was hit on the arm and broke his left arm. Cuellar setting, looking back, comes in, and he's got a foul tip strike now to Pagan. He tries to check his swing, and the ball foul tipped right back into Hendrick Smith. 1 ball and 1 strike. Foul a couple of steps inside the line at first and playing Pagan halfway. Brooks Robinson at the other corner is just inside the line and close to the bag. Sanguillén at second base, and nobody out in the bottom of the 6th inning. 1-1er. It's a strike at the knees of Pagan. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Pirates have picked on Cuellar for base hits in the 1st, 2nd, 4th, and 5th, and now a leadoff double stroked by Sanguillén. Pirates are leading 1-0. Cuellar set right down to the belt. His 1-2 pitch is fouled off to the left of home plate. So the count rides now between Cuellar and Pagan at 1-2. Buford in left, Rettenmund in center, Frank Robinson in right. Just about straight away to Pagan. He is the 7th man in the Pirate order. Gene Alley will be the next batter. 1-2 again. Low and away from the right-hand batter. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cuellar skating a bit on thin ice here in the bottom of the 6th inning, giving off the leadoff two-bagger to Sanguillén. 2-2er is grounded foul over towards Baltimore's third base dugout. So Pagan and Cuellar stay at 2-2. Pagan is not known as a power stroker. He had 5 homers for the year, 15 runs batted in, and batted at .241. Second base umpire Jim Odom just called time, and now he has waved the ball game to continue. Sanguillén inches off second base, not being bothered by the shortstop, Belanger. 2-2. Pagan, line drive, base hit, left field. Sanguillén turns third, comes on to score, and the Pirates go ahead 2-0 on the single pulled to left field by Pagan. Pittsburgh 2, Baltimore nothing in the bottom of the 6th inning. For the first time in the game, the Pirates have 2 hits in an inning. And they get them back-to-back on a double by Manny Sanguillén and a left field single by Pagan. Pagan on a 2-for-3 day strokes over Sanguillén, and the Bucks lead 2-0. And here's Gene Alley, the shortstop. Alley has walked and bounced out. The set in Cuellar's pitch with the runner going is fouled off to the right of home plate. Left-hander Grant Jackson begins to warm in the Oriole bullpen. Jackson, former National Leaguer and a left-hander, warming in Baltimore's bullpen along with right-hander Dave Leonard. Now the Pirates were just playing run and hit against Cuellar, with Pagan running and Alley swinging and fouling it off. Powell is holding on Pagan at first base. The Pirates have scored again. They've got a runner at first base and nobody out. Alley's the 8th man on the order, to be followed by Blass. Cuellar sets down to the belt, checks the runner, and he comes 0-1. Here's a bouncer over the mound. In comes Belanger, the shortstop, throws to first. He retires Alley, but on the ground or over the mound, Pagan moves to second base. Alley is the Pirates' first out in the bottom of the 6th inning. Pagan moves into a scoring spot. And now the Pittsburgh pitcher, Steve Blass. Blass has, from a pitching standpoint, has accomplished today what neither first-game starter Ellis nor second-game starter Johnson had been able to accomplish, and namely go past the 4th inning. He's batting in the bottom of the 6th with Pagan at second. Hits a ground ball to third baseman Brooks Robinson. Pagan stays at second, and Robinson tosses out Blass. That is out number 2 in the Pirates' 6th inning. The Pittsburgh leadoff man comes up, Dave Cash. He pulled a double inside the line at third in the first inning. Scored the run when Clemente's ground ball and force play enabled him to score from third. Since then, Cash has skied to center twice, both times direct run. Well, down through recent years, a lot of Pirate young hopefuls have tried to take the second base job away from Bill Mazeroski. And finally, somebody did. And it's this young man, Dave Cash. Pagan at second base, and 2 are out. Cuellar to the plate, and he's low, and the ball just pops out of Hendrick's mitt. Moves about 2 or 3 feet to the left of home plate, and Pagan remains at second. Sanguillén's 2-bagger here in the 6th. To start it off, followed by Pagan single to left, got the Pirates their second run. Pittsburgh 2, Baltimore nothing in the Pirates' 6th inning. Cuellar set to the belt, his 1-0. Is outside low to the right-hand batting Cash. 2 balls and no strikes. Cash, as a high schooler, years ago in central New York, in Utica, New York, an outstanding basketball and baseball prospect, decided on baseball with the Pirates. 2-0 is off the outside corner. 3 balls and no strikes. Cash now gives that hit-or-take look to his third base coach, Frank Osiak. And with 3-0 and first base open, they're going to walk him intentionally. They pitch way outside to go against Al Oliver, the left-hand batter, instead. 5 walks given up by Cuellar. 5 walks in 5 2/3 innings. Staying at second base, Pagan. So after Cuellar was way back of Cash at 3-0, he got instructions from Earl Weaver at the Baltimore dugout to put Cash on and not give him anything too fat on 3-0. Al Oliver is up. Safe on a throwing error by Powell in the first inning. Fouled out to left fielder Buford in the third. He was a Cuellar walk in the 5th inning. Now Oliver way off the plate. Runners at first and second, and 2 are gone. Breaking ball snaps outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Oliver, for the most part this year, was played by Danny Murtaugh at first base and center field. He's in center field this afternoon. 1-0. He pops it up foul down the third base side towards the seats. Brooks Robinson moving that way, but it's out of play. That was about 10 rows back in the seats, down from Baltimore's third base dugout. So the count is 1 ball, 1 strike to Al Oliver. Early in the campaign, Oliver was not driving over too many Pirate runs, but he beefed up the RBI production late in the season. He takes low and outside, and Hendricks has to dive down to one knee. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Pirates have Cash anchored at first, plus Pagan at second. They've gone ahead 2-0 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. They're batting Oliver with 2 gone. And Cuellar's 2-1 deal is fouled away down the left field side. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out, and a Pirate 2-0 lead. Well, yesterday at Baltimore, a ball game that featured 14 runs and 22 base hits. Today, 7 base hits and a 2-0 Pittsburgh lead in the 6th inning. 2-2 coming in. Breaking ball, cut out and missed, and Oliver strikes out. Cuellar gets his 4th strikeout, but the Pirates get their 2nd run at the end of 6 innings of play. Pittsburgh 2, Baltimore nothing.
Can't worry about it. Too much driving to do. Can't have a car that's not running right. You know, a lemon.
A lemon. Maybe you've got one. Then again, maybe what you've got is a dirty carburetor.
I took it into the station, and the guy says nothing wrong with this car. A can of STP gas treatment couldn't fix. Said it's got power to clean, power to burn. Sounds good, I said. You know what? It is.
STP double power gasoline treatment. You'll really feel the difference.
I got a name for it. Lemonade.
As one of America's major trade unions, the Retail Clerks International Association brings the benefits of democracy to the place of employment of more than 600,000 store workers with good wages and good working conditions. The Retail Clerks Unions, believing in the democratic processes of government, urge all Americans to be sure and register to vote. This message from the Retail Store Employees Union in your community, chartered by the Retail Clerks International Association of Washington, D.C. 20006. Well, we we go to the 7th inning. The Orioles have managed but one hit, 3 base runners against Steve Blass and the Pirates. Whereas the Pirates have been knocking at the door of opportunity all throughout the ball game and do own the 2-0 lead. But now, through 6 innings, they have left 9 men on base. Yesterday, they equaled the World Series record by leaving 14 on base. The truth of the matter is, I'm sure the Pirates don't care how many leave on base today as long as the lead stays at least 2 runs in favor of the Buccos. Frank Robinson, Ellie Hendricks, and Brooks Robinson in the Baltimore 7th. And again, Bill O'Donnell.
Frank Robinson struck out in the 2nd and flied out in the 4th inning, and he cuts and misses Blass's first pitch now to begin the top of the 7th. Frank Robinson, 5 for 10 in World Series play this year. He's down 1 strike to Blass with the next pitch. It's a high drive, deep left. It is going to be a Frank Robinson home run into the second deck in left field. 365-foot wallop by Frank Robinson, and his second World Series home run this year. So the Oriole margin now against the Pirates has been cut to 1 run as Frank Robinson plays long ball against Steve Blass. Incidentally, have made a defensive switch here in the top of the 7th inning. They have Jackie Hernandez at shortstop replacing Alley. Elrod Hendricks is thrown a strike at his knee. Frank Robinson, who had a home run in Game 1 of the World Series, now gets 1 more in Game 3. The 1-strike pitch, ground foul down the first base side. Again repeating, Hernandez is the Pirates shortstop here in the top of the 7th, replacing Alley. Frank Robinson has just broken apart Blass's shutout performance in the top of the 7th inning with a left field home run. The 2-striker to Hendricks. He checks his swing and fouls it off. It comes screaming over the Oriole dugout. Still 0-2 to Elrod Hendricks. Blass walked him in the 2nd on a 3-2 pitch and then struck him out in the 5th inning. Pittsburgh 2, Baltimore 1. Top of the 7th inning. Starts to fire. 0-2 zipped in. A changeup, fanned at, missed, dropped by Sanguillén. Then he makes the tag on Hendricks along the foul line. 5 strikeouts for Blass. And the first out in the top of the 7th inning. The ace of the Pirate bullpen staff, right-hander Dave Justy, is warming. Now the Baltimore batter with a run home on a Frank Robinson homer, and 1 out in the 7th is Brooks Robinson. He had the first hit off Blass in the 5th inning with 1 out. Blass to his windup, throwing a strike above the knee. Blass has given up only 2 base hits. 0-1 to Brooks Robinson. Swing and a foul tip comes popping out of Sanguillén's mitt. 0-2 to Brooks Robinson. Brooks Robinson, 5 for 9 in World Series play this year. Nobody on. 1 out. A run home in the top of the 7th. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Brooks Robinson strikes out. So Blass, after giving up the home run to Frank Robinson, just tightens up on that belt buckle. He fans Hendricks. He strikes out Brooks Robinson. He now totals 6 strikeouts in the ball game, and he'll now meet Dave Johnson. Johnson flied to center in the 2nd. Rolled into a fielder's choice in the 5th inning. Blass to Johnson way outside with a breaking ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Johnson the batter, Belanger's on deck. Justy continues to warm in the Pirate bullpen. Blass's 1-0 move to Johnson. Foul to the netting. 1 ball and 1 strike. Retired the Orioles 1-2-3 in the 1st, did the same thing to them in the 3rd, again in the 4th inning before the first base hit in the 5th, and now a Frank Robinson homer in the 7th. 1-1 to Davy Johnson. Breaking ball off the outside edge. Sanguillén thought it fit the corner, and Blass also thought he chewed off that outside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike to Johnson. I guess the best way to describe Johnson would be over the last 3 seasons, Mr. Consistency. The 2-1 pitch to Johnson. Ground ball chopped wide of third, backing up. Hernandez pulls it down, hurries to throw in time. It gets to Bob Robertson to retire Johnson. So the Orioles started off the top of the 7th inning with a solo home run by Frank Robinson. In the middle of the 7th inning, it's Pittsburgh 2, Baltimore 1.
Gillette Foamy says,
Be an old smoothie, be an old softy. Your beard's like putty in the hands of a cream like me. I'm a rich shave cream, #1 shave cream. I'll shave you clean and close, try and see.
Gillette Foamy shaves you so clean and close, you'll be an old smoothie.
Lemon lime.
Menthol.
Surf straight. Regular. Foamy. This is Kyle Rowe with some more baseball fans getting their first look at a revolutionary new two-bladed razor from Gillette. The new Gillette Track 2 twin-blade shaving system.
I think it's a bit of a unique idea. I've never heard of anything like it.
You might get less cuts with 2 blades instead of having to press to get at the hairs that you miss on your face.
It's probably give you a better shave than razor with 1 blade.
Well, I think it would be great. I have to try something with a double blade.
The new Gillette Track 2 razor. It's 1 blade better than whatever you're using now.
I say anything put out by Gillette, I would try.
Back in Pittsburgh for the last of the 7th, Clemente, Stargell, and Robertson for the Buccos, who had a 2-0 lead, and as they had a 3-0 lead on Saturday in the first game, Frank Robinson came up and hit a home run to make it 3-1. The Orioles went on to win that ball game. They snatched a 2-0 lead here, and Robinson led off the 7th inning with a home run to make it 2-1. So it's not over yet. Cuellar and Blass, the starters, are still in there, with the 4th game of this series due tomorrow night. Shortly after 8 o'clock, Pat Dobson will go for Baltimore, another one of their 20-game winners, the 4th. And Luke Walker, a left-hander, will be going for the Buccos of Pittsburgh. But right now, this game is 2-1. Roberto Clemente is the batter to lead off the Pittsburgh 7th. And here's Bill.
And Jim DeClemente, who has hit in 10 straight World Series games as a result of that 5th inning base hit to center field. Clemente, Stargell, Robertson, the beef of the Pirate attack in the 7th. Fastball is fouled straight back towards our NBC booth. Strike 1 to Roberto Clemente. You know, baseball people talk around the all-around ball player. Clemente might be right at the top of the list. He runs well. Naturally, he hits the ball well, and he feels well. He does everything outstanding. Despite the fact he is 37 years of age. Deep to the box on Cuellar's next pitch. Off-speed curve, tap to the mound. Off the glove of Cuellar, recovers, turns, pulls Powell off the bag, and safe at first base is Clemente. Clemente checked his swing. It trickled back a little bit to the third base side of the mound. Cuellar stuck the glove down. It came out of the glove. He did recover in time, turned, threw to Powell. He pulled him to the outfield on the fair side of the bag, and Clemente is safe. Figure would be charged with a throwing error to give Clemente a life. Cuellar charged with a throwing error. Here's Willie Stargell, and he'll wait as Cuellar makes a move to Clemente's lead at first base. This is Baltimore's 3rd error in this 3rd game of the World Series. Stargell takes way outside, ball 1. Stargell is hitless today, but he has twice been a base runner. Picking up walks against Cuellar in the 1st and 4th, striking out in the 5th. Clemente leading at first base. Inside and high. 2 balls and no strikes to Stargell. Powell holding as Clemente inches off first base with nobody out. Pittsburgh leads 2-1, bottom of the 7th inning. Stargell takes low, so he's way ahead, 3 balls and no strikes. And out comes the Oriole manager, Earl Weaver. Now, in most situations this season, when initial visits in an inning have been made to the mound, it has been the Baltimore pitching coach, George Bamberger. But during the playoff series, the Oriole pitching coach, George Bamberger, came down with the back pains and chest pains, was forced to be hospitalized in a Baltimore hospital, and has not been with the Orioles since. He is still hospitalized in Baltimore. With Cuellar struggling against Stargell, 3 balls and no strikes. Baltimore's bullpen is active with big right-hander Tom Dukes. Cuellar to Stargell, 3-0. That's ball 4. It advances Clemente to second. Stargell occupies first. Nobody's out. And the batter will be Bob Robertson. 6 walks issued by Cuellar. And he's yet a batter here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Clemente at second, Stargell at first. Pittsburgh ahead by 1 run, 2-1. Robertson has not had at the moment a good day. He has lined into a double play, twice has failed. Clemente inches off second. Stargell gets his lead at first. Robertson taking high, ball 1. Have pushed Cuellar right against the ropes here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The 1-0 to the right-hand batting Robertson is fouled off the end of the bat. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pittsburgh drew ahead 1-0 in the bottom of the 1st inning. Moved ahead 2-0 in the bottom of the 6th inning. And then a Frank Robinson leadoff homer in the top of the 7th made it 2-1. And the Pirates coming right back. They've got 2 on, nobody out. The 1-1er to Robertson. High fly, deep right center. Way back is Frank Robinson. This is a home run. Bob Robertson, a 3-run homer to give Pittsburgh now a lead of 5-1. Way back over the 385-foot marker in the power alley in right center. Not had a World Series hit. He had gone 0 for 9. And his first World Series base hit is a 3-run homer. It plates Clemente ahead of him plus Stargell. A 3-run Robertson wallop also knocks out Mike Cuellar. And Earl Weaver is going to his Baltimore bullpen. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning, Clemente reached on a tapper to the mound. Cuellar threw the ball to Powell and pulled him off the bag, and Clemente was safe on the throwing error. Then Cuellar walked Stargell on 4 pitches and just gave up an opposite field 3-run homer to Robertson. Right now, we pause 30 seconds for station identification.
Only logical that ANCO, makers of the finest windshield wipers, should come out with the finest windshield washer solution for winter driving. They did, and they call it ANCO Windshield Washer Antifreeze. It'll keep your windshield clear even in below-zero weather. So before Old Man Winter does it to your windshield, look for the yellow ANCO cabinet in good service stations everywhere. Get yourself some ANCO Windshield Washer Antifreeze. ANCO by Anderson.
WNBC, AM and FM, New York.
Again from Pittsburgh with Bill O'Donnell, this is Jim Simpson, and for the first time in the 1971 World Series, the Pirates have pushed themselves over that 3-run mark. They lost the first game 5-3, the second game yesterday 11-3, but now they have a 5-1 lead. A lead of 4 runs. Mike Cuellar, the left-hander, the screwball pitcher, has worked 6 innings plus, given up all 5 runs, 4 of which were earned. The 5th is unearned, and Cuellar brought that on himself on the throwing error on Clemente's little bouncer that started the 7th inning. He surrendered 7 hits, struck out 4, and walked 6. So Cuellar went down the drain by throwing the ball away on a Clemente bouncer that put Clemente on, walking Stargell, so he put him on himself, and then Bob Robertson got the opposite field home run, and suddenly a 2-1 ball game becomes 5-1 Pittsburgh, and the Pirates threatening to win this 3rd game and get back in the series. Tom Dukes now on the mound, 5-4 for the year, 3.52, first appearance in the series.
Manny Sanguillén hits a ground ball foul down the 3rd base side. Right-hander Tom Dukes, who was part of a winter deal, which brought Pat Dobson, another right-hand pitcher, with him from San Diego to Baltimore in exchange for, among others, Tom Phoebus. Dukes this year, strictly in relief, made 28 appearances, won 1 and lost 5. 0-1, swing and a miss at a hard breaking ball. Dukes seldom will change up on batters. Most everything he throws, he whips in hard, fastballs and hard curves. He's ahead of Manny Sanguillén, the right-hand batter, 0-2. The winding Dukes with his 2-strike pitch. Inside high, right over the head of the ducking Sanguillén. Pittsburgh 5, Baltimore 1 in the Pirates' 7th inning. on the 3-run homer by Bob Robertson. 1-2 by the fast-working Dukes. Breaks it off outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 5 runs, 7 Pirate hits, 1 run, 2 Oriole hits. 2-2 are on the way by Dukes to Sanguillén. Here's a high drive, right field. Frank Robinson in front of the warning track in right, and Frank Robinson for out number 1. Sanguillén is retired for the first Pirate out in the bottom of the 7th inning. And now to Jose Pagan. He has doubled and singled in 3 trips and knocked over the Pittsburgh run in the 6th inning with a base hit pulled to left. Sanguillén just retired on a fly ball to right on the heels of Bob Robertson's 3-run homer. Dukes delivers. Fly ball, left field. Buford coming on, and Buford makes the shoulder high catch. Pagan is quickly retired. 2 away in the Pirates' 7th inning. Back in 1968, pitching for Houston, Dukes was with the Houston Ball Club before going to the San Diego Padres. Dukes appeared in 9 consecutive games in relief, tying a major league record. Now he goes against Jackie Hernandez, who replaced Elliott Short in the top half of this inning. Hernandez takes low inside, ball 1. Hernandez, in 2 previous games of this series, a hit in 5 trips. The 1-0 by the right-hander Dukes. Here's a ground ball to third. Digging it out, Brooks Robinson, and he throws out Hernandez for the final out. But the Pirates get 3 big runs on the 3-run homer by Bob Robertson at the end of 7 innings of play. Pittsburgh 5, Baltimore 1.
Men and women bowl in league play every week. It could be the lively competition to put your team on top. It could be having a congenial group to bowl with every week. It could be trying a little harder when your team needs that important mark. If you're a league bowler now, you know it's all this and more. And if you're not a league bowler now, join up at your nearby bowling center. There's a league and a time for everybody. When you're in a league, bowling is a whole new game.
Now the hard shell finish of turtle wax is even harder.
This year, the turtle has a harder shell than ever. The only thing that gets through is sunlight, Mama. Liquid or cream car wax. The turtle goes on easy and stays on hard.
Now the hard shell finish of turtle wax is even harder.
New improved turtle wax. Anything else is mock turtle.
For the first time in the 1971 World Series, it's the Pittsburgh Pirates who appear to be in complete control. They've got a 4-run lead, which means that the tying run can come to the plate, but not the winning run. Steve Blass has been near perfection, giving up only 2 hits and 1 run. He'll face the bottom of the batting order now, and you can bet if Blass gets in any trouble at all, Dave Justy, with those 30 saves in the regular season and 3 in the playoff championships, will come on in a hurry. Top of the 8th inning, Mark Belanger, and here's Bill O'Donnell.
All right, Jim, Steve Blass in Pittsburgh with a lead of 5-1. In the top of the 8th inning, Belanger starts it off against the Pirate right-hander. Blass whips it in, and he snaps it in for a knee-high strike. Belanger has popped up and grounded into a force play. Dukes is due next, but Chopin has come out on deck. The 0-1. Strike, burns it on the outside corner. Oh, he's gone with a hard slider and the heat to get 2 strikes ahead of Belanger. Pittsburgh's lead is 5-1. It had only been 2-1 until Robertson's 3-run blast. The 0-2 on the way, outside and low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Blass has been very, very stingy, giving up only 2 base hits. He's also struck out 6. 1-2 to Belanger. Swinging a foul tip for a strikeout held by Sanguillén. 7 strikeouts for Blass. Relief pitcher Tom Dukes was due, but he will not swing. Instead, it'll be a fellow they call around the Oriole clubhouse the Little Mosquito, Tom Chopin. Chopin is a left-hand batter. He will move right to the front of the plate against the front of the batter's box against Blass, and right from the waist, he'll lean right on top of the plate. Chopin finished the regular season batting .257. He is not a power hitter. He's kind of a slap hitter. Sprays the ball all around the outfield and the infield. will probably be played inside the bag by Pagan at third. And here is Pagan now creeping right up to the carpet, well inside the bag. The shortstop Hernandez over to the hole. Chopin tossed low by Blass. 1 ball and no strikes. In shallow left, Stargell. In shallow left center, Oliver. In the right center, Clemente. The 1-0 to Chopin batting for Dukes is a letter-high strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Blass to his windup rapidly. Issues the 1-1, which is inside and low. The catcher, Sanguillén, thought that Chopin had committed himself in his check swing. And now John Rice, the plate umpire, also checks up with the third base umpire, John Kibler, who confirms the opinion of Rice. 2 balls, 1 strike to Chopin. Batting for Dukes in the top of the 8th with 1 away. Ball 2 and strike 1. Blass to Chopin. Fouls it off the mask of plate umpire Rice. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Blass did not have a very successful playoff series against San Francisco, but he did have a strong regular season finish. 2-2 to Chopin. Ground ball right to the mound, speared by Blass, and he throws out Chopin for out number 2. Chopin, batting for Dukes, has bounced out to the first base side of the mound. Blass to Robertson. So Blass has cut down the first 2 in the top of the 8th. Since the home run to begin the top of the 7th by Frank Robinson, he has also retired now 5 in a row. At one point in the middle of the ball game, Blass had retired 9 in a row. To the leadoff man, Don Buford. He has to twist out of there. It's hit high and tight, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes to Buford. Buford, twice as skied to left field as Stargell, has also looked at strike 3. Blass 1-0. Changes up, and he's got the strike. Blass does not have the straight change. He's got the change off his curveball, plus the fastball, which moves around, and the hard slider. 1-1. Change curve is high. So he came back with the same pitch to Buford, but kept it upstairs. 2 balls and 1 strike. Buford batting with 2 away and the bases clean. Hits a line shot foul, pulled to the right field area. 2 balls, 2 strikes, bases empty, 2 out. In the top of the 8th inning, Game 3 of the 1971 World Series, Pittsburgh leading 5-1. And naturally, this late inning Pirate lead has some hopes renewed now in the Pittsburgh camp after dropping games 1 and 2 in Baltimore, 5-3 and 11-3. Games in which the Orioles totaled not only 16 runs, but 24 base hits. 2-2 to Buford. Change curve. Grounded back at first. Backing off Robertson. Blass goes to cover. Blass takes the toss, and Buford has been retired. Robertson had it back to the rim of the outfield carpet for the hard ground ball. Blass curved off the mound, went to first base, and Robertson throws out Buford. Blass has a 1-2-3-8 after 7.5 innings. Pittsburgh 5, Baltimore 1.
When you watch the World Series, you know you're watching the 2 best teams in baseball. But what separates them from other teams? Well, some teams are noted for their hitting, others for their pitching, others for their fielding. But the teams that make it to the series are the ones that put all 3 together. And it's the same way with gasoline. Some are noted for quick starts, others for good mileage, and others for cleansing action. But the one that really stands out is the one that gives you all 3. Quick starts, good mileage, and cleansing action. And that's just what you get at Phillips 66. Great all-around performance in our gasolines. We call them Phillips 3 for the money performance gasolines because they give you quick starts, good mileage, and cleansing action. So whether you're talking baseball or gasolines, pick the one that does everything well. And in gasolines, that's Phillips 66. At Phillips 66, it's performance that counts. We go to the last of the 8th inning, and in a moment, I guarantee you, you're going to hear quite a hand from this crowd, near-capacity crowd at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh, because the first batter will be Steve Blass, who has given up just 2 base hits, 1 run on the Frank Robinson home run, and needs to go only to the 9th inning, where he'll face Rettenman, Powell, and Robinson to try to get Pittsburgh on the board with their first win of the 1971 World Series. Eddie Watt has come on and will do the pitching now as Tom Dukes worked a perfect inning. Watt, a 29-year-older from Lamoni, Iowa, now lives in Baltimore, his 6th year with the Orioles, and this is his 4th World Series game. His record is 0-2 in the World Series. His record during the regular season of 1971, he was in 35 games, won 3, lost 1, credited with 11 saves and a fine earned run average of 1.82. It'll be up to Watt to hold the fort for the Orioles as they get their last licks in the ninth, but here's the man of the hour, Steve Blass, the Pirate pitcher.
Now, Jim, Baltimore's bullpen being a little bit overworked today, like the Pirate bullpen was yesterday. And listen to this greeting here at Three Rivers Stadium. This is for Steve Blass. Most of the crowd of around 50,000 just starting now to sit down after greeting Steve Blass, who will bat against Eddie Watt to begin the Pirates' 8th inning. Blass 0 for 3. Right-hander Watt throws outside, ball 1. Watt is primarily a fastball and slider reliever. He had the top earned run average on the Oriole pitching staff. His 1-0 to Blass is fouled away off the thumb, straight off to the right. 1 ball and 1 strike to Blass. In the Pirate 8th, Blass plus Cash and Oliver. 5 runs, 7 hits for Pittsburgh. 1 run, 2 hits for Baltimore. 1-1. It's low, 2 balls and 1 strike. Cash will bat next. Oliver impatiently waiting back in the dugout. 2-1 coming on. It's strike 2 called at the letters. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Watt winds right to the belt. 2-2 delivery. Swing and a miss dropped by the catcher Hendricks. He throws to Powell at first base in time for the putout. So give Watt a strikeout, give Powell the putout at first base, and also provide the catcher Hendricks now with an assist. Watt strikes out the first man he meets in relief, pitcher Steve Blass. And now the top of the Pittsburgh order, second baseman Dave Cash. He's been
What does the Boeing 747, the Douglas DC-10, and the Lockheed 1011 have in common? I'll tell you. ANCO windshield wipers. The same precision and care go into the ANCO Rainmaster wiper blades for your car. So if your wipers are streaking your windshield, have them replaced now. Look for the big yellow ANCO cabinet in better service stations everywhere.
For the first time in World Series play, a game under the lights here in Pittsburgh. Pat Dobson against Pittsburgh's Luke Walker. Inside, and it backs Cash away. The right-hander Watt against the right-hand whips of Dave Cash. The 1-0 by Watt. High fly into left field. Buford to his glove side is there. He's got it measured. And Buford for out number 2. 2 up and 2 down against reliever Ed Watt in the Pirate 8th inning. And now to Al Oliver. Oliver was safe on a foul throwing error in the first inning. Has since fouled out, walked, and fanned. Today's third game attendance here at Pittsburgh just announced at 50,403. Al Oliver, left-hand batter to the front of the box against right-hander Watt, and he throws him outside. Foul deep at first, just 1 good stride inside the foul line. Johnson at second base, back towards the rim of the outfield carpet. The 1-0 by Watt is a strike. He gets the outside corner to the belt of Oliver. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pittsburgh is leading 5-1 in the bottom of the 8th inning. In the dirt, 2 balls and 1 strike. Game time tomorrow night for Game 4 of the 1971 World Series will be at 8:15. Watt 2-1ing Oliver. He hits a high pop-up to the right side of Baltimore's infield. Dave Johnson waves off everybody, and Dave Johnson for the 3rd out. So at the end of 8 innings of play in Game 3 of the World Series, it's Pittsburgh 5, Baltimore 1.
Hi, this is Joe Garagiola, and today I'm going to give you some inside information on corrugated packaging from Owens, Illinois. See, there are times when the inside of a box is almost more important than the outside, especially if the product you're shipping is fragile or has a funny shape. Owens, Illinois has an expert on inside package design at each of the 20 Owens, Illinois box plants coast to coast. Ask for the inside story. Owens, Illinois. They're in the yellow pages.
This is a radio commercial for a TV commercial, where we put a can of anti-leak Z-Rex antifreeze on the screen and poke holes in it. You see the can squirt, and you see the leak stop. While we tell you anti-leak Z-Rex guarantees you complete satisfaction for a full year or write DuPont for your money back. Follow directions, flush a dirty cooling system first. We can't show you our Z-Rex can on radio. We just hope you get the picture.
Jim Simpson along with Bill O'Donnell back in Pittsburgh, ninth inning. Steve Blass has been superb. 1 run, 2 hits. You can look down on the bullpen to see Dave Justy warming up just in case. But if Blass is to win this ball game, and he's out in front 5-1 now, he's got to do it the hard way. Facing Merv Rettenmund, third in the league in batting this year, plus power hitters Boog Powell and Frank Robinson. He owns the 4-run lead. The Pirates are just 3 outs away from their first series victory. And here's Bill.
Well, Merv Rettenmund now starts. Well, the Orioles hope can be a productive 9th inning, and Blass works him high, ball 1. Yesterday in Baltimore, Murtaugh had to go to his bullpen 5 times. He had to lift Johnson and follow him with Keeson, Moose, Beal, Miller, and Justy. He has not had to go to his bullpen yet today. Blass 1-0ing Merv Rettenmund, and suddenly time has been called by the plate umpire, John Rice. Rettenmund has bounced to short, has skied to right, and bounced to the mound. Rettenmund had the big wallop in the first game Baltimore win, a 3-run homer. 1-0. Slider low. 2 balls, no strikes to Rettenmund. Without any exaggeration, you could put Rettenmund in the class of the typical All-America boy. 2-0. That's the strike by Blass. 2 balls and 1 strike. Rettenmund, a graduate of Ball State, not only a great baseball player at Ball State, but also an outstanding football player. Right-hander Blass to the right-hand swings of Rettenmund. Swing and a miss at the slider. Blass has not had today one good pitch. His slider's been a good pitch. His fastball has been moving a good pitch, and also a change curve. On some afternoons, hot pitchers will have just, one great pitch. But he's been good with all 3 of his. 2-2 to Rettenmund starting the top of the 9th. Strike 3, outside corner. He got Rettenmund looking with the fastball. 8 strikeouts for Blass. Blass's strikeout high in a ball game this year was in late May when he fanned 11 Cincinnati Reds. Here in Game 3 of the 71 World Series, he has 8 strikeouts against the power of Baltimore. Now he goes against the power of Powell. And he's kept Powell off the bases today. Powell is 0 for 3. Strike with a slider. He just knocked off the inside corner, kept it down, and kept it at Powell's knees. Powell is one of Blass's 8 strikeout victims this afternoon. Pittsburgh is leading 5-1 with 1 out in the top of the 9th. The next delivery by Blass. Changeup is fanned out and foul tip. And as Powell swung through the ball and just got a little piece of it, he dropped the bat, and normally when Powell misses pitches or just gets a little bit of it, it sort of makes that tender right hand of his that much worse. Powell has torn fibers on the back of the right hand. Powell 2 strikes down to Blass with 1 gone here in the top of the 9th. Base is clean. Here's the next delivery. Low fastball, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Look at Hernandez, the shortstop. He's not just a little bit back of second base with the overshifted Pirate infield. He's a good 2 steps back on the outfield carpet. Now, we say carpet rather than grass because the field here at Pittsburgh is tartan turf. 1 out. Powell on the 1-2 by Blass. Takes outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. All alone on the left side of the Pirate infield is third baseman Pagan. The outfield has turned and pulled to right against Powell. Powell in World Series play at the moment is 1 for 11. The 2-2 delivery by Blass. Fouled on the ground back of the plate. Well, the Pirates, honestly, and I'm sure they'd be the first to admit it, suffered a humiliating defeat yesterday, 11-3. I'm sure people, especially around Pittsburgh, remember humiliating defeats, if you can call them that, in the 1960 World Series, when the Yankees beat the Pirates 16-3 and 12-0. But the Pirates won that World Series. 2-2. High drive, way back into right center. Oliver's at the warning track. He's at the wall, reaches up and one-hands it right at the wall in deep right center. Powell with a long drive, but couldn't get it out of the ballpark. Oliver one-handed it right back by the wall in right center. So there are 2 gone in the top of the 9th inning. Frank Robinson, who has provided Baltimore with its only run, a leadoff 7th-inning homer, and who during the 1971 regular season became only one of 11 major leaguers to hit 500 or more home runs. 2 gone, bases are empty. Fastball backs Frank away. He was jammed into his letters. Now, Blass threw very hard to start the ball game. He is throwing just about as hard late in the ball game. Winding, dealing, 1-0. He's low to Frank Robinson, 2 balls and no strikes. The one question about some pitchers when they start to throw extremely hard early in the ball game is how well they pace themselves and how strong they can remain through the closing innings. The 2-0 to Frank Robinson. Strike, letter high, 2 balls, 1 strike. Frank Robinson so far with 6 hits in the 1971 World Series, including 2 homers. 2-1 on the way. Ground ball, shortstop, base hit left center, right by the glove side of Hernandez. So Frank Robinson, 2 hits today, 7 hits in the series, and right now he is 7 for 12. And it is Frank Robinson who's had the hot Baltimore bat in this World Series so far. He keeps Baltimore hopes jumping here in the top of the 9th inning as Pittsburgh is leading 5-1. Frank Robinson now has 2 of the 3 hits given up by Blass. The batter is Elrod Hendricks. He's walked and fanned twice. Robertson, the first baseman, playing back deep, not holding on Frank Robinson's lead. The stretching Blass to Hendricks. Strike, breaks it off at his knees. Pittsburgh lost the first game of this World Series 5-3. Lost game 2, 11-3. Leads here in Pittsburgh back home in the 9th inning, 5-1. 1 strike pitch to Hendricks. Off-speed curve popped up down the left field foul line. Chasing it is Pagan in foul ground. Reaches out and can't get to it. It 1-hops into the left field seats. It's 2 strikes to Hendricks after the 2-out single to Frank Robinson. The Pirate infield, as it did against Powell here in the 9th inning, is also over-shifting against the left-hand cuts of Hendricks. Playing shortstop Hernandez to the first base side of second, not quite as deep to the outfield carpet as Hernandez had been against Powell. He's about 1 step back on the carpet. Cash, the second baseman, right on the rim of the outfield carpet. Deep at first base, close to the foul line, is Robertson. Way back of Frank Robinson's lead. Blass ahead of Hendricks, 0-2 with 1 on and 2 gone. His delivery. Line drive, 1 hopping into Cash's glove at second base. Cash throws out Hendricks, and the Pirates have won Game 3 of the 1971 World Series. They win it behind Steve Blass 5-1.